from this.
Karens are everywhere. Whether we like to enjoy our meal, drink a cup of coffee, or go to a pool, it seems that these people always try to stick their noses in everyone else's business. We've seen their ignorance in every case of violence and stupidity caught on camera. But there is nothing sweeter than when people doing Karen-like things are getting a good dose of karma. In this list, we will be looking at events that went viral. These are classic examples of white people terrorizing adults and children just because they are black. But at the end of the day, justice is served, one way or another. We are starting off our list with the number 10. Police officer surprises a black boy after neighbors call the cops on him. We've seen many cases where police officers get accused of treating black men like criminals, even innocent ones. But we rarely see police officers helping someone who is black, who just happened to have pissed off the neighbors for absolutely no reason. In July 2023, Officer Colleran was dispatched after someone called the police. They said there was a juvenile in the suburb just south of Atlanta who needed to be removed.
He learned 16-year-old Keontae Evans had been hired to be there to do some yard work. He explained he was trying to earn money to buy his younger brothers and sisters some school clothes and purchase a PlayStation 5.
His goal was simple: earn enough cash to buy a PS5. He couldn't afford it, but he wanted to play games and earn the console fair and square. Unfortunately, someone in the area didn't like the boy because he was black, so he preferred to have the cops take him into custody. The police officer was heartbroken. As he got to know the kid and what he went through, he decided it was time to take a different approach. When the officer remembered the encounter,
Hapeville police officer Eric Colleran says he quickly figured out the call he had been sent on was a misunderstanding.
I just thought, he's out here willing to work, so I want to see what I can do.
But what the boy didn't know was that Officer Colleran is also a gamer. This shared hobby led to something truly special. Colleran decided to help the boy achieve his dream and get him the latest setup. The officer worked together with his fellow colleagues to arrange the perfect gift, which included a PlayStation 5 and an online gaming gift card. Just look at the kid's reaction. He is in complete shock and disbelief. The way he hugs the cop, there is just no other way he can explain how happy he is. This moment, right here, is everything. He is so overwhelmed that he can only gasp while looking at the gaming setup he always wanted. A dream come true. This kind gesture not only made the boy's day a million times better, but also laid the groundwork for an amazing friendship. Because of their mutual love of gaming, the two decided to spend some time in the virtual world. This single act of kindness can have such a huge impact on this young boy. It brings people together in ways we can't possibly imagine. It challenges preconceived notions and demonstrates that even in situations with tensions, we can break down these barriers and foster a sense of belonging. This story encourages all of us to seek common ground and help whenever we can. But there is more where this came from, which brings us to number 9. White woman accuses a black boy of threatening her. Now, before I start with this story, I want to say that not all white women are the same. But there have been many cases of white women having a strong sense of entitlement. For example, some black women who are married to a white man often have to deal with white girls who are hostile and bitter to them. This kind of attitude and mistreatment can progress to the kids and perpetuate a cycle of discrimination. Yes, there are times when white women start harassing black children, regardless if their parents are around. They can try and deny it or hide behind anonymity. But when they are filmed and the video goes viral, there is nothing they can do about it. One such scenario happened when an adult woman got angry at a little boy just because he rode his bike near her. She started cursing at him and trying to get him to stay as far away from her as she could. The boy was just 8 years old. People, both there and online, were quick to say that this happened because of race. The woman was white and the boy she bothered was black. Luckily, a stranger came to help, a more sensible and reasonable adult. The man quickly called the woman out on her actions and pointed out her ingrained prejudice and self-righteous entitlement.
Kid, you're defending yourself to an 8-year-old kid? Are you serious?
After he tried to hit me for the first
An
time.
8-year-old kid? You want to curse an 8-year-old kid out?
That is
If he
an
was a
honest-
white kid, would you do that?
Yes,
would
I
you have
would.
said that to a little white kid?
Absolutely.
Even though it was clear that treating any child like this was not right. When questioned about how the child threatened her, she said, "By riding close to me on the sidewalk at a fast speed." The camera in the video shifts to a kid on a bike on the other side of the street. In the foreground, the man and woman keep arguing while pointing toward the child, who inadvertently becomes less important in the whole situation. Fortunately, the man strongly supports the boy and proceeds to criticize the woman.
In your community, right? Where do they ride bikes at?
On the street.
Okay, but guess what? This is our community. This is their playground.
You're
You understand? This is their playground.
During the argument, the man sheds light on many of the deeper aspects underlying the woman's accusation. It's evident she lacks awareness of broader systemic issues. The man points out that she's not a longtime resident of the neighborhood. He said, "You all moved in under gentrification. This is where we grew up, all our lives. This is our home. We don't have our own backyards." Then, the woman tries to argue that she is spending money in this neighborhood, but the man quickly reminds her that even though she has money, she lacks character. The woman's hasty and baseless attack is quickly exposed. The video ends shortly after the man labels her argument as sad. Regrettably, this incident is just one of many. Thankfully, in this case, the man who stood up for the child was level-headed, composed, and resolute. The story served as a powerful reminder of the need for empathy, understanding, and the desire to fight prejudice in all its forms. It highlights the importance of standing up against discrimination, not only for the sake of victims, but for society as a whole. Hopefully, this made the woman reconsider some of her distorted cognitive patterns. We can all aspire to be as calm and fair as this man and rectify injustices when they do happen. If you're enjoying this video so far, please like and subscribe to the channel to help our message get spread to more people. Thank you for the support. We couldn't have done this without all of you. Next on our list is number 8. Woman yells at black kids for selling candy on the street. When Karens pop up, they usually cause drama at a store. I've seen my fair share of pissed off old ladies at the grocery cashier, but this one is just on a completely different level. This video was recorded in 2016 by a woman called Andy Lizaraga. She posted it on Facebook and it quickly went viral. A little boy and his sister stood with a cardboard box in front of them, offering candy to people heading into a Target store in California. Some customers agreed and bought candy, while others politely declined. However, one woman decided to take things further. She asked the kids if they had permission to be there or had a license. The two kids, clearly scared, mumbled a response. They were simply trying to make a little money, but the woman wasn't satisfied. They kept bombarding them with questions, pestering them for selling candy in front of the store. She even threatened to call the police, insisting that the kids would end up in jail for selling candy without a license. A number of shoppers tried to get her to leave the kids alone. When she started to shout, Andy Lizaraga came out of the store and took out her phone to record the situation. That's when the kids started to cry, but the old woman couldn't care less. She kept lashing out at the poor kids. She probably didn't think anyone would step in, but someone did. As Jay Lopez left the store, he heard the woman screaming her lungs out. He said she should feel ashamed of herself, but the old lady didn't back down. She said that Lopez should feel ashamed of his ignorance. By this point, the girl who was selling the candy was crying hysterically, and she had stepped away from the old woman. The boy was left alone to deal with the angry lady. So, Lopez decided to stop the entire back and forth. He stayed calm, turned his back on the old lady, and looked straight at the children. While she was still arguing, the man asked how much the candy was.
How much candy is there, Jack? How much is all that?
Yes, I want to see.
I'm buying it all.
Fine, I want to see.
I'm buying it all. I am gonna buy it all. I'm gonna give it away to all these people. You should be ashamed of yourself.
I am not ashamed of myself.
The total sum was $80. Lopez went back into Target to get some cash, came out, and handed it to the boy. He then went on to give the candy for free to anyone who was watching. The person who recorded the whole thing posted the video on Facebook. She wrote, "There are good people and bad people in this world, and I saw it firsthand. Screw all you ignorant people who have to complain about something." As soon as it was posted on YouTube, it got almost 2,000 views, and people started commenting right away. One person said, "Someone give that man a trophy." Another one said that while other children are glued to their phones and Xbox, these kids decided to go out of their way to earn the cash themselves. Almost all of the comments said that the old woman should have minded her own business. It was viewed over 6 million times on Facebook. Since the video went viral, the old woman's daughter asked that Lizaraga take it down, but it was already too late. People started sharing it, and it was soon all over the news. Lopez and many other people are wondering if the old woman's reaction would have been any different if these children were selling Girl Scout cookies. He is not saying that this entire situation happened because the children were black, but he strongly believes that it would have been a completely different story if the woman saw young white girls selling Girl Scout cookies. In fact, we see a lot of kids selling cookies, candy, lemonade, and all sorts of things to raise money. However, this story showcases that one person can have the power to reshape the entire narrative if they have the courage to stand up to a bully. Lopez made sure to let the old woman know that the entire community was against her, and he achieved that without attacking or screaming back at her. The moment all the bystanders took the candy that Lopez bought, it was a sign that the community supported the kids. On that day, these young children discovered that there are good people who would stand up for others and do the right thing. Coming up at number 7, a white woman goes viral for harassing black couple and gets scolded by her husband. Check this out.
You don't know him. You don't know her. You get in the car.
A video went viral of a white woman verbally harassing a black couple at a gas station. Her partner gets furious with her and tries to convince the woman to get back in the car. But
Get your stupid ass in the car.
Crack the
No, he is not. Why? Because he's driving a Buick?
in the video, the white man can be seen yelling at his wife. Their tense argument happens while the black couple is watching nearby. The husband keeps berating his wife until she gets pissed off and leaves. The white man apologizes to the black couple, and the woman recording the video can be heard laughing at the whole situation, while her partner stares in disbelief. The black woman said she felt very racially profiled. They were just trying to get gas. But it turns out, there's more to the story than meets the eye. There was another video recorded of the same white couple. In this video, it appears that the two are fighting over something. This happens before the gas station incident. The white woman throws some stuff out of the car and proceeds to argue with her husband. She tries to get a reaction out of him, and the two can be seen pushing each other. As the fighting continues, she continues to physically assault him. She slaps her husband, punches, and pushes him back. She then denies throwing the stuff outside the car. It is just humiliating. This brings us to another story at number 6. Pool Karen blocks a black child from using a swimming pool. For some reason, Karen seemed to flock to the community pools. It's bizarre how regularly this happens. On July 6, 2021, a white woman tried to block a black child from swimming in the community pool. A bystander recorded the incident, and Heather J. Brown, who goes by @HJ every day on TikTok, posted the video online.
Yesterday, man, you know who I am. It's on my shoulder. I don't right. I didn't understand you.
The video had about 5 million views and was reposted before it was taken down from TikTok for reportedly violating the community guidelines. The white woman was charged with assault. Here's what happened. Brown and her son were headed for the community pool, but a white woman blocked their path at the gate. In the video, Brown can be heard yelling at the woman, saying that her son was here yesterday and she knows who she is. The white woman asked the mother a question before the gate opened, and then she seemed to grab the boy as he tried to get past her. Brown immediately raised her voice and told the woman not to touch her son.
Don't you ever put your hands on my son. Actually, I will call the police and I will have you arrested for putting your hands on a minor.
She also firmly stated that the woman step away from her or she would be taken into custody for laying her hands on her son. Reports suggest that Brown filed for charges 5 weeks after the incident. According to Brown, the woman at the pool was charged with a misdemeanor assault on a child younger than 12. The white woman allegedly tried to tell the police that Brown had assaulted her. Brown mentioned that the officer was starting to believe everything the white woman was saying until he saw the video and talked to the witness who recorded the incident. The report also mentioned that the person who filmed the argument told Brown about similar problems in the Homeowners Association pool committee. She said that children who aren't white were singled out. She said that the woman in the video let 2 white children in first, while Brown's kids were told to wait outside. According to the Daily Mail, Brown shared that they attended court on July 30th. The woman requested a public defender, and the next court date was set for August 20th. As per the Daily Dot, after the incident on July 6th and the supposed court proceedings, Brown stated that the white woman and 2 other women from the Homeowners Association committee had been persistently bothering her landlord. They were sending emails and spreading lies about Brown and her family. To me, it looks like these women from the committee are used to getting things their way. The white woman got busted, and now she's plotting her revenge. So, they decide to intimidate Brown and her family. They want to create a hostile living environment and possibly even have them evicted. It's crucial to address such behavior and hold those responsible accountable for their actions. This incident serves as a stark reminder of the ongoing need for education, awareness, and advocacy in combating discrimination within communities. This particular example highlights the need to respect and celebrate diversity in all its forms, including race. It shows that it is important for us to support each other and confront prejudice regardless of the setting. And while many people are becoming more aware, these Karens are going to remain a problem for the time being. Coming up next on our list is the Alabama brawl over boat docking. It all started at about 7 p.m. on August 5th, 2023. The Harriet II riverboat was carrying 227 passengers. It was supposed to return to the waterfront in its assigned spot. Unfortunately, another pontoon was already docked there, which caused a delay. The riverboat and its passengers waited for about 45 minutes while the captain tried to contact the pontoon's operators. However, they only responded with rude gestures, foul language, and mockery. To address the situation, Pickett, the co-captain, was taken from the riverboat to the dock on another vessel to speak directly to the pontoon owners and ask them to move. This interaction, however, quickly turned violent. The chief explained the co-captain was just doing his job.
And that's common practice in the boat world. Yeah, sometimes you have to move a boat here and there just to fit in. It happens a lot like at fuel docks or whatever. He threw his hat up. I said, oh no, we got problems. And then another guy got involved, and then three or four more guys came running down the dock. I said, thank God they're gonna stop this. But they didn't stop it, they jumped in as well.
Many of the people who saw the video believed that this incident was racially motivated. It soon went viral, mainly because it happened in a city with a history marked by racial oppression and a significant role in the civil rights movement. But the police still believed that the fight was not racially motivated. The captain of the Harriet initially contacted the police about the disturbance at 7 p.m. A follow-up call was made to the police at 7:15 p.m. The first officers arrived at the scene at 7:18 p.m. Later that evening, the co-captain received medical treatment at a nearby hospital. Many officers arrived at the scene to get the situation under control. Here's a raw video of the police arresting both white and black people involved in the brawl. 4 people from the private platoon are now facing assault charges: Richard Roberts, Zachary Shipman, Mary Todd, and Alan Todd. These people are facing a lot of scrutiny on social media. One of the men, Chase Shipman, who admitted he was involved, had his business bombarded with 1-star reviews. Although he claimed he was the first to try and get away from the incident, people still flocked to his Yelp page and let him have it. Shortly after the brawl, his reputation was irreparably damaged. His business received more than 300 1-star reviews. This is why he had to take his business Facebook page down temporarily. But people on social media were not happy. They started tracking all the white people who got involved in the incident and sending them hate comments on different platforms. They praised the black man who started swimming to protect the co-captain, calling him the Black Aquaman. Well, in this particular example, it is obvious that the black community took their power back and fought for what they thought was right. Coming up next is number 4. Someone tried to shut down a teen's hot dog stand. Sometimes it's the little things in life. The smell of a freshly made hot dog with a cup of ice-cold juice. Jaquan Faulkner, a 13-year-old, set up a hot dog stand in 2016. He was struggling with depression and wanted to do something productive that would keep his mind occupied. This creative idea also meant that he was going to earn some money for himself to get some new clothes. So, he set up his tabletop business right in front of his house in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Soon, Jaquan was selling hot dogs, sodas, and chips to his neighbors. Everyone loved it, but as his stand was becoming increasingly popular, someone decided it was time to end it all. They contacted the city's health department and explained to the authorities that the boy didn't have a permit, but
someone put in a complaint with the health department.
That's when Neon came.
Neon, the Northside Economic Opportunity Network, provides training and support for underserved entrepreneurs like Jaquan.
A group of health inspectors from Minneapolis also offered to teach the young entrepreneur about food safety. They provided him with a thermometer to ensure the food stayed at a safe temperature, set up a hand washing station and a tent, and even covered the cost of Jaquan's permit. Plus, a nearby nonprofit has been guiding Jaquan in the art of entrepreneurship and assisting him in launching his new business, Mr. Faulkner's Old-Fashioned Hot Dogs. The group launched a GoFundMe campaign to help Jaquan get a mobile hot dog stand. The teenager plans to allocate a portion of his earnings to support mental health organizations, and any extra funds will be set aside for his college education. However, for this 13-year-old, the greatest joy comes from not just making money and understanding the world of business, but also because it is something he enjoys doing. Next on our list, coming up at number 3, a white man harasses a black neighbor. In 2021, a white man harassed his black neighbor, shouted racial slurs,
Back up. Don't touch me. Keep backing up. Don't touch me.
In this one, you could hear Matthew repeatedly hurl racial slurs at a black neighbor. Folks in the community say it was a pattern.
Edward Cagney Matthews from New Jersey is now facing charges of harassment and bias intimidation after a woman, his neighbor, said he was constantly harassing her. In the video, Matthews keeps calling his black neighbor the N-word and a monkey. But that man also said his address in that video and tried to intimidate people. He then walked away from the scene. This incident took place outside a residence in Mount Laurel, which is approximately 20 miles east of Philadelphia. We don't know what happened after or before the video, but what we do know is that Matthews' taunts worked, and over a dozen protesters gathered outside his home shortly after the incident. Police officers escorted him into custody, while the angry mob threw whatever they could find at Matthews. People heard Matthews say the most horrible things you can say to a black person, and he thought there would be no consequences for his actions. Ultimately, he got what he deserved. But many of the officers were hit with bottles, sticks, and other things as they were trying to escort him out. Shortly afterward, riot police came to disperse the crowd. Meanwhile, protesters were throwing rocks, bricks, and trash at his home. A news reporter was able to interview Matthews about 1 hour before he got arrested. In this video, he said that he wasn't a racist and that what he did was purely out of anger. He regretted his actions. But the woman who pressed charges said he wasn't buying his remorse, mainly because this was a pattern with him. Coming up next is a white army vet confronting a black man in a viral video. In this video, we can see a white drill sergeant, Jonathan Pentland, aggressively addressing and shoving a black man in South Carolina. Pentland approached and verbally berated the young man who was just walking around the neighborhood.
There's a difference between pushing you.
You're the aggressor, buddy.
You're aggressing on their neighborhood.
Someone came running up.
Walk back.
You better walk away. You walk away.
Pentland was taken into custody and charged with third-degree assault. After the video went viral, protesters soon came to his home. Pentland's behavior has been widely condemned, including by Fort Jackson's commanding general, Brigadier General Milford B. Spiegel Jr. The general emphasized that such actions do not align with Army values. The Richland County Sheriff's Office, which responded to the incident, acknowledged the disturbing nature of the video and emphasized their dedication to thoroughly investigating the matter. And now, on to the top of our list, when racist Karen harasses Delta staff. This is a particularly interesting story that I think deserves the #1 spot on our list. The video went viral of an incident at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. The footage shows a woman being apprehended at a Delta Airlines gate for allegedly spitting on Delta employees.
She lost a shoe.
And directing racial slurs towards them. Because of it, people online started calling her racist Karen. Bystanders at the gate, who witnessed the incident, started laughing at the whole thing.
Are you arresting me?
Yep.
In Talia Devlin's TikTok post, spectators start to applaud and cheer as the woman is escorted away. When Talia opened up about the incident to 2 men nearby, they speculated that the woman might have been drunk. This could be the reason behind her hysterical behavior. To be honest, the "bye Karen" at the end cracked me up. It was obvious that everyone there was sick of her and wanted to get on with their lives. This kind of delay was just unnecessary. Stories such as these always make me smile, especially when I see someone going out of their way to give someone else a good life or help them in any way, shape, or form. But the problem is, these things will never end. That's because Karens don't think they are Karens. They think they are the victims.